I'd like to call to order the Finance-Auditing Committee meeting of July 24th, 2025. And if we could have a roll call, please, and confirm our quorum.
Thank you, everyone. We started a few minutes late, so I apologize. Starting with Director Devlin. Is absent. Giudice.
Here.
Hernandez. Maston. Here. Verdoni is absent. Vice Chair Parr is absent. Chair Rabbitt.
Here.
President Cochran.
Here.
Thank you. You have a quorum. Also in the room is Directors Barbarina, Hill, Moulton Peters, and Snyder, but we are not a committee of the whole.
You do have in front of you, hopefully, the blue sheets as well, which are the latest and greatest on the agenda. Some late additions to the public. I think they're out on the front desk as well. With that, we'll move on to item number 3, which is verification of previous actions by the auditor controller. And we have with us Monique Spike to give us a report from PFM. Monique, thank you so much for being here.
Good morning, everyone. Morning. So I have a relatively short report this morning, as there was no trade activity in the portfolio for the month of June. But I would like to spend a couple moments just speaking about the market uncertainty. So I'd actually like to start on page 3 of our report, which is a couple pages in, and I apologize, I don't have packet numbers on this handout, but the title is essentially "Uncertainty Remains High While Market Volatility Wanes." This is important because I think, the past couple of months, I've come and spoken to you all about essentially the, news in the market, and, how every statement coming out of the Trump administration was causing a lot of volatility. Well, the good news is that has lessened considerably. On the top chart, we show the effective tariff rate. There's been a lot of discussion about tariffs and what they are. And on the bottom, we show the 2-year Treasury yield, which is a great proxy for essentially what we're buying for the district. So if you look at this bottom chart, the 2-year Treasury yield, the blue line, so essentially intraday trading ranges, essentially tells you how much the 2-year rate has changed within each day over this period from April through July. And at the start of the period on the chart, you can see just essentially wild swings in interest rates day to day or within the day. And the good news is we sort of go along the chart through today, you can see that intraday volatility essentially calming down significantly. So that's good news. It means that in some ways the market has become a bit immune to the news coming out of the Trump administration. That's going to lead to more certainty for day-to-day trading activity as we go along. I've been telling you that, we have kept to our discipline in terms of managing the district's portfolio. We focused on, finding good value, sector placement, working with your staff to talk about cash flow needs, and that served us well. But this calming of the volatility will essentially allow us to be a little more nimble day to day. I had another committee meeting earlier this week, and I joked with them that, we had a situation where, at 3 o'clock, we closed our books in terms of, statements and pricing, and the amount of volatility between 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock caused crazy disparities between the custodial report and our report, just because the custodian closed their books at 4 o'clock. So, things like that should be calming down significantly now. Other things I want to point out, as I mentioned, we did not have any trade activity for the month of June, but if you move forward to page 9 of our report, I just want to continue to emphasize the diversification of the portfolio. Within each sector, whether it's corporate notes or certificates of deposit, we really seek to distribute your assets across many, many different issuers as a way to help manage the risk. So as we sort of move through earnings season and talk about the issuers in the portfolio, I want to continue to emphasize our strategy as one of diversification across industries and issuers in the portfolio. The portfolio's yield is fairly high. The district will continue to benefit from your assets that are in overnight investment pools as well as securities. We don't anticipate that the Fed will cut rates at its next meeting. I know the market is thinking about that. We don't anticipate any rate cuts until the latter part of the year. So we should still have some elevated earnings rates for the time being. And actually the 2-year treasury, for example, even increased month over month. So you'll see a net increase in income going forward. Any questions for me?
Any questions for Monique? Not seeing any. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think the only thing that is known is uncertainty these days.
Yes, sir.
It is, I know for my own mental health, personally speaking, being immune or just trying to block out the noise is, and now the markets apparently are perhaps doing the same thing. So hard to keep up with all the stuff that gets reiterated. Director Moulton-Peters.
I just want to express appreciation to Monique for your close eye on these things. It gives us all some comfort to know you're watching closely, and we appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Is there any public comment on this particular item?
There's no public comment.
So with that, I'll look to my colleagues for a motion to approve the ratification of previous actions by the Auditor Controller, the acceptance of course, the PFM report as well.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second, and with no public comment, and we can do a voice vote.
Yes.
We'll just do a voice vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Is there anyone opposed? Please say no. Hearing no opposition, that does pass unanimously. Thank you all very much. And again, thank you, Monique, for being here. Moving on to 4A, which is to authorize the budget transfer of the fiscal year 25-26 district division capital budget from project number 1810, which is the Enterprise Resource Planning System replacement, to project 2515, which is the expansion and improvement project, scope and design. And we have Cody Smith with us to explain exactly what I just said.
Yes. Well, I'll make sure to introduce some numbers as well to confuse you further. No, so in essence, 1810 Enterprise Resource Planning, we were going to do a replacement of our general ledger system. And so we did a bunch of design work, modernization of interfaces, and did a lot of scoping of the project. The new project that's coming now, we did all that work and then realized actually we'd like to use our current system, our current general ledger system. And so instead of replacing it, we're just going to upgrade it. And so what this action is doing is transferring one project, all the design work, all the modernization of the interfaces, all the scoping, and all the brainstorming of how we want the new system to work, and combining it now with the new system, which is just an upgrade. So moving from a replacement to an upgrade of our current general ledger system. This request is to move $3 million from the original replacement to now the current upgrade. I'm going to make the current upgrade project now around $4.2 million in total for the capital budget. So with that, I'm happy to answer any other questions you may have as well.
Does anyone have any questions on this particular item? There's no fear of just an upgrade of the existing system, that system not being supported in the future, as sometimes happens with.
I would say obviously we can't foresee the future with the going concern of what companies may or may not do. Obviously, if that would be the case, I would be doing something else. However, no, I think we're very confident that the vendor has no going concerns. It will meet our needs, and we actually will gain some efficiencies with the upgrade.
Great. Again, any questions? Seeing no questions, real quickly, is there anyone from the public who'd like to speak on this item?
We have no speakers for this item.
And with that, I'll look to my colleagues for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second. So we have a motion and a second, and we'll do a voice vote. All those in favor of authorizing this budget transfer, please say aye.
Aye.
Is there anyone opposed? Please say no. Hearing no opposition, that does pass unanimously as well. Thank you so very much. You get to stay there because the next item is yours as well. 5A, authorized filing of an application with the MTC for fiscal year 25-26 for the TDA, STA, and Regional Measure 2, Regional Measure 3, and Senate Bill 125 operating funds to support bus, ferry, and paratransit. Good.
Yes, thank you again. Yes, I just wanted to point out again, just the revision in front of the blue sheets. That is in relation to late last week, as we were closing our books. We got notice that we're going to a $1.5 million rescission to SDA funds, so we want to make you guys alert of that in the FY25 allocation number. So that's why we made the quick update. That being said, this is an annual operating claim. We're authorizing the general manager to make a claim for the TD, STA, RM2, RM3, and SB 125 funds. Of notes, a couple highlights. One is, again, as you mentioned, the FY25 allocation was $1.5 million less. So again, that's what's in front of you with the blue sheets. Secondly, as part of the mascots group, overall, there's been some new funding, a new funding formula that's occurred. And ultimately, long story short, is that we're getting $2.2 million because of the new formula that we're using. Had they used the old formula before mascots, we would have got $2.2 million more. Okay. The second thing to note is that we're getting $800,000, of RM3 money. That money is going to be passed through to SMART, again, as part of the SMART implementation program. Okay. And thirdly, Senate Bill 125, this is good news. We're getting $34.5 million of new money for operations. And so that also is included in the staff report. So with that, I'm happy to take any questions.
And with that, I'll look to my colleagues. Any questions on running through all those numbers? Sounds like overall, with the SB 125 dollars coming into the mix, we're
very appreciative of the wisdom of the legislature and the leadership of Scott Wiener to get Senate Bill 125 passed. And we appreciate MTC recognizing the financial challenges we have with our transit service still today. And so we're one of 5 operators to receive operating subsidy under Senate Bill 125 in the Bay Area. And this is a huge shot in the arm for us. So kudos to MTC. Their vice chair is with us here today, as well as the legislature for that. And then with respect to the $800,000, MTC is also trying to facilitate and assist the mascots effort. And so, things are shifting around. It's proposed, but in anticipation of that, MTC wants to provide $800,000 to SMART for potential extra service that would start if mascots is implemented next year. SMART is not eligible for that money. We are, so they'll give us that money. That's the $800,000. We'll give them some money that they're eligible for, just to smooth it all over. And that's something that agencies do all the time among themselves. Just we want to be transparent about what it is.
And thank you again to our MTC vice chair for the work on all this.
We're always in there pitching for Golden Gate. There we go.
Good to hear. We did public comment, right? Did I ask for public comment?
You did not.
I did not. So is there any public comment on this particular item?
We do not have public comment.
We do not. And again, to my colleagues, any last minute discussion and or motion to approve?
So moved.
Second. So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Is there anyone opposed? Please say no. Hearing no opposition, that does pass unanimously. Again, thank you all very much. Thank you for all the work on that and the late-breaking changes being documented for us. Moving on to item number 6, status report on the fiscal year 24-25 budget. Back to you.
Thank you, Director Rabbit. Yes, again, this is status report of the FY 24-25 budget. Obviously, it's the end of the year. It's June 30. I just would like to point out just one thing is that the use of district reserves on this isn't numbered, but the chart that is the company's item or the table that accompanies the item. Where use of district reserves is $7.8 million. We had projected $9.7 million worth use of reserves. So a net, positive of, $1.8 million less of reserves that we're using, just to highlight that. That being said, I'm happy to take any questions.
Great. I appreciate that. Looking to my colleagues, any questions? Seeing none, is there any public comment on the status report of the budget?
We have no public comment on this item.
Okay, then we'll move on then to item number 7, which is the monthly review of the Golden Gate Bridge traffic tolls, bus and ferry, transit patronage, and fares.
Yes, so this is just an informational item. I'm happy to answer any questions with any of the numbers that are presented.
If I may offer, for the fiscal year that ended, our southbound bridge traffic was up 1%. Our bus ridership was up about 5%, and our ferry ridership was up about 11% compared to the prior fiscal year. So while we're still way behind pre-pandemic levels, we are seeing slow, steady growth in all travel modes in the quarter.
It's good to hear. Anything we could peg ferry being up 11? I know that ferry at one time was just so low that relative.
There's a couple components to it. One is that recreational travel is back. So in spite of the Giants, trips to the Giants ballpark do quite well. The other thing is that ferries don't get stuck in traffic. So Larkspur Ferry is bouncing back quicker than anything else we have right now. Larkspur Ferry is bouncing back on the commute on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, faster than bus or even faster than the bridge actually during the commute. So just, travel patterns have changed. And so, that's part of it. But we're seeing steady growth in all three modes. Ideally, we'd like to see a little more growth in the bridge traffic because that's how we pay our bills.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Again, looking at my colleagues, any comments? Seeing none, we'll move on then to item number N. We'll take public comment of these three updates. Moving on to item 8, which is the monthly review of the financial statements.
Yes, thank you. As of being June 30, one thing to highlight, this close report for you obviously includes the $1.5 million rescission for SGA we discussed previously. Sam and I, am the Director of Accounting, I would be remiss to not talk about a certain GASB statement. So this year is a new GASB called GASB 101, compensated absences. This required a new calculation of the compensated absences. For layman's terms, that's the sick and vacation that we pay employees by the accrual balance and we have to pay out at some point, and they use it. The new GASB requires us to change that calculation to include the employer contributions percent as well, so the FICA, the MEDI, any kind of pension cost that we do with the use of sick and vacation time. The previous GASB just allowed us to record the sick and vacation time only. So that being said, with the new inclusion of the new GASB, GASB 101, it increased our expenses by $3.5 million. But that being said, everyone across anyone that's a government sector entity is using this or implementing this GASB. So we're not by ourselves with that. And luckily, actually, we're fortunate we've been actually recording our compensated absences overall for quite some time. So the change isn't that much. In other agencies, you're seeing tens of millions of dollars being recorded on their books. So that being said, that's the biggest highlight of this close. Also, just for the year end, there's a series of accruals that occur. Again, these are, for services that have been rendered, but we've yet to pay. So we're accruing those expenses back to the fiscal year to record them in the proper period. These include, professional services, legal fees, repairs and maintenance. So my team, of course, is working with all those vendors and getting everyone paid accordingly. But we have to accrue the expense back to June 30. Okay. So this financial statement is reflective of that. So those are the big highlights. Any questions for this?
Any questions for Cody on this one? Seeing none, thank you very much. How about rolling on to item number 9, which is the review of the district's 24-25 fourth quarterly report of judgments or settled claims. Actually, that's for Kelly. Cody, thank you so much for all the work. Appreciate it.
Good morning. So this is an information. If you have any questions, I'm happy to take them. But just to highlight, there were 3 workers' comp claims settled in this period and 2 liability. But what is significant is one of the workers' comp claims involved 11 cases settling. We solved 11 for $50,000. That was big to close 11 cases. Happy to take any questions.
Always good to close those cases, especially 11.
Favorite thing
Thank you so much on that. Appreciate it. Looking to my colleagues, Director Maskin.
Just out of curiosity, so how many cases are open?
Right now we have about 209 open cases.
201.
We had a spike in May. We have received 17 new claims in May, but we had been writing about 189 open claims for almost 5 years. And now we're at 209. So I got the whip out on the adjusters to get those claims closed, get people back to work, and they're chipping away. And so this is really significant. And this particular, the 11 claims But as the report indicates, they go back to as far as like 2007. So we were able to collectively grab all of them and close them. And so that's a big win on our book of open claims.
Good work. Thank you.
Sure, no problem.
Great. Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, I'll ask, actually, if there's any public comment on the last few items.
Yeah, the last 3 items. We have no public comment for items 7, 8.
Great. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you for all the work. Going back to item number 10, review of the Auditor Controller's fiscal year 24-25 fourth quarterly report on authorized budget adjustments and transfers under the General Manager's authority. Back to Cody.
Yes, thank you. No, again, this is for informational purposes. It just summarizes the fourth quarter budget adjustments and transfers. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Anyone have any questions? No questions. We'll roll into item number 11, which is the review of the Auditor Controller's 24-25 fourth quarterly report on procurement actions and agreements.
Yes, just the one thing to note with this one is that I think it has, I believe, my understanding of the board is that it's the first time the report includes the in-kind participants breakout with the listing. That will continue. It's listed as partnership agreement here at the line item within the table. That being said, it will continue henceforth. But again, this is the first time being presented to you today. So just a quite slight change with the format of the table. But other than that, I'm happy to answer any questions. Any questions, please?
Any questions? Not seeing any. Again, thank you so much for that. And I'll ask real quickly if there's any public comment on those last 2 items.
So we do not have public comment on the last 2 items, but what I would like to do is ask for public.
Okay. So before we continue, which item 12, right, which is closed session. Mm-hmm. So we're going to ask for public comment now. It's okay with my colleagues. Any objections to taking public comment now? Not hearing any. Go ahead and do that. Is there any public comment?
Justine, we're going to let you pull the public lines one more time just in case someone's joined after the meeting started. So if you don't mind pulling your public comment line, we have no one in the room that would like to speak for public comment.
Certainly. Is there anyone that's joined us that would like to speak this morning? Please press ** to unmute yourself and let me know. Again, if you have public comment this morning, please press ** to come through the system and let me know. I am not hearing anyone this morning. Thank you.
Thank you. We have no speaks.
Great. So we are going to go into public or closed session, and I'll ask Catherine to take us into closed session, please.
The committee will now go into closed session pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9A regarding 2 existing litigation matters. The first one is Lawrence DeHart v. Golden Gate Bridge Highway and Transportation District. The second one is David De La Paz v. Golden Gate Bridge Highway and Transportation District.
Great. Thank you very much. No other closed. Oh, no.
Thank you for your patience while we're in closed session this morning. Please keep your devices muted. I appreciate it.
All right, we're back in open session.
The committee met in closed session and gave appropriate guidance on both items listed under item 12A.
Great. Thank you very much. And we did take public comment on, we had public comment even for the closed session items.
Correct, we did.
So with that, we're on to item number 14, which is a motion to adjourn. Second. Hearing many motions to adjourn, lots of seconds. We will adjourn until, if there's no opposition, we'll adjourn until we meet again.